Hey, what is going on, guys? In this video today, we're going to be going over how to improve your Fortnite ping and general connection if you play on PS4 or Xbox One. Out of all the questions and requests for videos that I get in my comment section and on Twitter, how do I get better ping or better connection is definitely one of the most common. And I can totally understand why that is. Ping has always been incredibly important in Fortnite, and I don't see any reason why that would change in the future. Now, I want to put a small little disclaimer at the beginning of the video to be transparent with you guys. When it comes to ping and connection on console, a lot of it boils down to things that are probably out of your control. Now, don't get me wrong, there are definitely some smaller things that you can do, but just be aware that they can only help you so much. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so we're going to start this video off with the more basic aspects of improving ping/connection and gradually work our way up to some more complicated things. So when it comes to having good ping and connection, there's three main factors that really matter. First off, for ping specifically, a major factor is where you're located in the world. Second is the general strength and the provider of your internet. And third is the way that your console is connected to the internet. If you're someone who's played or followed Fortnite for a while, a player's location impacting their ping is probably something that you're relatively familiar with. I'll just quickly flash an image of all the server locations on the screen right now for Fortnite, and when it comes to ping, it's as simple as this. The closer you are to any of those servers, the better. So using the US as an example, a player with bad internet who lives in a state like Virginia or Pennsylvania will probably actually have better ping than someone in Florida or the Midwest, even if that person has really good internet. The second factor is the general strength and provider of your internet, and even though you probably have more control over this than where you live, I don't think there's too much I can say about this that you guys don't already know. Obviously, better internet's going to lead to better connection and ping, and also certain internet providers are better and more reliable than others. For example, Verizon Fios is typically regarded as the best widely available internet provider for gaming, while other companies like Spectrum and Comcast get much less favorable reviews. So that covers the two factors that are mostly out of your control. Now let's go in depth about some of the changes you can make regarding how your console is connected. So there's two ways that this connection can be made: wired via Ethernet cable or wireless via Wi-Fi. Right off the bat, I want to make this as absolutely clear as possible. If you really want good connection and ping, you need to do everything in your power to make your console's connection wired. No matter how good your internet is, wireless gaming, especially with the older versions of the Xbox One and PS4, is pretty terrible in general. Being wireless probably won't have a massive impact on your ping, but it'll without a doubt lead to more packet loss, more lag spikes, increased download time, and a bunch of other negative connection-based things. So if your console is close enough to your router where you can relatively easily hardwire it, you're just absolutely shooting yourself in the foot if you haven't already done that. And even if it's far away, you still have a variety of different options to consider. I'm not an expert on this by any means, but I know you can use things like extension cables, power line network adapters, Mocha adapters. Trust me, if you put a little bit of effort into Google searching some stuff, you're gonna be able to figure it out. However, if you can't get Ethernet connection, or maybe you just don't care enough to do so, there are still some things that you can do to improve your wireless connection. The first thing you want to do is go into your console's network settings and take a look at the Wi-Fi connections that are available to be connected to. Now in this list, you should obviously find the Wi-Fi connection that you use for your console, and what you may also see is another network that has the same name as your regular connection and then -5G. I'll throw an image up on the screen of my connections, albeit with some parts of the name blurred out, just so you can see the regular network and then the 5G one. So the base connection without the 5G in the name that most people use is a 2.4 GHz connection, while the 5G network, as the name kinda indicates, is 5 GHz. Let me break down the difference between the two options, as well as which one will be better for you depending on your setup and situation. The primary differences between the two frequencies are the range and speed that they provide. The 2.4 GHz connection provides coverage at a longer range but transmits data at slower speeds. The 5 GHz connection provides less coverage but transmits data at faster speeds. The range is lower in the 5 GHz because higher frequencies struggle to penetrate solid objects like walls and floors. However, the shorter range allows data to be transmitted quicker, so the 5 GHz connection allows you to upload and download files and information faster. Your Wi-Fi on a particular connection can also be faster or slower because of interference from other devices. Many Wi-Fi enabled technologies and other household devices use the 2.4 GHz connection, such as microwaves and garage door openers. When multiple devices attempt to use the same radio space, overcrowding occurs and connection slows down. The 5 GHz connection tends to have less overcrowding than the 2.4 GHz because fewer devices use it, and also because it has 23 channels for devices to use, while the 2.4 GHz only has 11. Not entirely sure what that last part means, but I think the main summary of it is, if you're experiencing a lot of interference from other devices, consider using the 5 GHz connection. For me personally, on my console, I do get slightly lower ping, faster download speeds, and better overall connection with the 5G network. However, that may be totally different for you, so if you plan on using Wi-Fi, you definitely want to give both options a try and see which one is better for you. And if you ultimately end up using the 2.4 GHz option for whatever reason, try to limit the interference from other exterior devices. For example, devices like external hard drives, wireless headsets, and even phones can hurt your connection if they're within a few feet of your console. The final and most advanced thing that you can do to try to improve your connection is manually changing your DNS settings. On Xbox, you do this by going into Network Settings, then Advanced Settings, DNS Settings, and finally when it asks you whether you want to use automatic or manual, you choose manual, and I'd assume on PS4 the steps are probably very similar. So once you get into the DNS menu, it's going to ask you for a primary DNS and then a secondary DNS. What this gives you the option to do is manually choose a server network to connect your console to. And even though it's not going to be the same for everybody, there are two options for DNS that are unanimously considered the best. The first is Cloudflare, and the primary DNS for this is 1.1.1.1, and the secondary DNS is 1.0.0.1. The second best option is Google, and the primary DNS for that is 8.8.8.8, and the secondary is 8.8.4.4. I've heard some mixed reviews about the effectiveness of manually changing your DNS on console, but most people agree this can have a positive impact on your wireless or even wired connection. I'll even link a video down in the description below of a guy testing his default upload and download speed on his console versus upload and download speed when using either Cloudflare or Google, and both of those options ended up increasing his overall speeds. So if you're going to play on wireless especially, I would strongly recommend giving this method a try. I would first go into your network settings with everything how it is normally, and then click Test Network Speed and Statistics, and either write down or just remember your download speed, upload speed, and latency. Then connect to the Cloudflare DNS via the method I showed you, reset your console, and do the same test again to see if your connection is now better or worse. Then repeat that process, but this time for the Google DNS. If your default stats are better, then obviously stick with that, but if either Cloudflare or Google is better, then you want to actually play Fortnite or any other game and see if your connection actually seems better in-game. For me personally, this DNS method greatly improves my upload and download speed, but doesn't seem to make much of a difference when it comes to lowering my ping, so I'll change it anyway just so I can download games and updates better, but it may be totally different for you guys, so that's why you need to test it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you watched the entire thing, be sure to let me know with a comment down in the comment section below. In general, are you normally happy with your connection and ping while gaming, or not so much? Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.